So if you look at the implied duty of fidelity, fidelity means what? You are to be faithful. You are to be faithful to the company that you work with. Yeah. An implied duty of fidelity may rely upon by the employer to prevent an employee from carrying out various activities that prove to be competitive for the employer. Obviously, if you were to do certain things that the employer sees as something that is going to be detrimental to their position, right? In terms of their businesses, in terms of the time that you spend, you know, you are so tired that when you come back to work, you are not able to concentrate. That is another thing lah. But for a thing that if you work with the competitors, say for example, doing the same thing that you are working with the company that you're working with right now, and you are doing something to another company that is doing the same thing. Okay, so competitive activities may include carrying out other works while employed, poaching customers or suppliers. What do you mean by poaching customers, employees, suppliers? Meaning you more or less ask certain amounts of uh, interest, certain amount of benefits that you can get. I still remember when I was with the factory, the first day on duty as the leader or the head or the manager of production, right? I'm handling the production purchase, of all the raw materials for the company, which amounting to millions. Now, what happened was I have this chap that went that came to see me, and without any kind of double meaning, he says, "How much do you want? Uh, how much do you want for me to be in a relationship with you, and so you can buy your raw materials from me?" I was like, wow, I was stunned, yeah, to be in this position whereby a contractor or a supplier is offering money, without tak ada malu-malu gitu, eh. Okay, now we look at this. However, it is not simple to determine whether or not an employee has breached the duty of fidelity, as many factors have been taken into account to determine such a breach. Yeah, some of which are, and not limited to, number one is whether the particular work is being carried out during or after work. Okay, so the concern here is whether you are doing something that is breaching that so-called trust, breaching of fidelity while you are doing something during or after work, right? So, for example, doing your online sale, online sale, you have some items that you put online, and people are asking inquiries about the product you are selling. So you go online and do things that is wrong lah, because you are utilizing the time, and the time that is money, money being paid to you to do your other work. After work, maybe after work is not about the ability of the employer to control you. They have no way to control you, because enough 8 hours working with them is considered as enough. One third of your life is spent with your company that you are working with. So it is up to you to do whatever you want. So the second work or the third work that you wanted to do in order to make sure that your income is enough with the current economic situation, the inflation that we are going through, everything is pricey, on top of that, you have a nagging wife asking you to, buy things and things like that. Yeah, for me, not madam, okay, she is the one that bought me things. But what if you have kids? Yeah, obviously kids wants things, right? So nowadays kids are very demanding, like you guys, you are very demanding kids. So obviously the parents would have to engage into a second or third work. I saw a Grab person I interviewed him the other day and I said, what are you doing? This is full-time grad? And he said, no, this is my second income. I said, you're doing full-time work from 9 to 5? Yes. He's a government servant, but yet at night he has to go and do grab. That is the reality of life nowadays. Okay, the second element is the nature of work to be undertaken. What is the nature of work? If the nature of work is similar or totally different from the work that you are doing, say for example you are a lawyer, right? If you are a lawyer, obviously you cannot do other things, right? Because that is under LPA. You That's too bad, because our LPA works like that. If you are in the United States, obviously you can do other things, right? You can also be a lecturer and also a practicing lawyer. But the nature of work has to be identified, whether it is breaching the fidelity relationship between you and the employer. The third element is to whether work undertaken by you has a significant impact on the employer's work, right? As I mentioned just now, it all boils down to the nature of work that you're doing. Sometimes the employer, obviously knowing that you are surviving in this current situation, right? So they just close one eye, then they say, okay. Or sometimes employer encourage us to do second work, right? In order for you to be happy. When you're happy, you are able to go to work, concentrate on your work. But certain nature of work can go against their interest. You see, for example, we will look at one or two example later, where this nature of your work will eventually collide with the interest of the employer. For example, just to give you an example, you are working as a person, a company that produce chocolate, right? And then after office hours, you go to another factory, you clock in another factory doing part-time, also doing the same thing, chocolate manufacturing. So whether your work and the other work collides or not, it depends on the nature of your status. If you are just a normal worker, you know uh, the blue collar worker, then it's okay, yeah, because that is all about processes. But when it comes to you being a white collar person in a company, you know what is happening, things like that, right? For example, you are in the HR, then off time that you do part time in HR, which is not reasonable for you to be. But what if you are so, you can't be doing the line job, they call it line job lah. Line jobs means you do manufacturers punya apa, a worker punya, on online manufacturing. But you are doing an office work to another company, which is the same nature of work that you are doing, which is HR. uh, that is something that is worrying for the employers. And the next one will be whether there are express terms relating to the duty of fidelity. So obviously, if there is an agreement whether you can or cannot work after the office hours, it will boils down to the agreement, yeah, the contract of employment that you sign, or the clauses, whether the clauses are silent or the clauses are saying literally you are not to work with any other people, that's it, because they are willing to pay you a big amount of money, therefore you are to maintain with them. Yeah, we will look into that one after another.